Hello, it's Janet, traveling theta healer. Thank you for coming to visit my website. And here's that free gift I promised you. What I will be doing is downloading the Theta Healing Virtues. And all you have to do to receive them is to allow it and to say yes. So I do the request to Creator. And by you saying yes, you allow yourself to receive it. And I'll just request, and I will witness that you've received it. And this will be good for anyone who decides they want to receive it. And doesn't matter if you're listening to it now or in the future. As much as you believe and allow yourself to receive, ask and it's given. So here we go. So would you like to have Creator's perspective and understanding what it would feel like to have sincerity? If you want it, say yes. Creator chooses. Would you like Creator's perspective and understanding what it would feel like to have tact? Say yes. Creator chooses. Would you like Creator's perspective and understanding what it would feel like to have self-discipline? Say yes. Creator chooses. Would you like Creator's perspective and understanding what it would feel like to be tenacious? Say yes. Would you like Creator's perspective and understanding what it would feel like to have tolerance? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like Creator's perspective and understanding what it would feel like to have sympathy? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like Creator's perspective and understanding of what you'd like to have thankfulness? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like Creator's perspective and understanding what it would feel like to have trust? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like Creator's perspective and understanding what it would feel like to have justice? Creator, change this. Would you like Creator's perspective and understanding what it would feel like to have love? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like Creator's perspective and understanding what it would feel like to have moderation? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like Creator's perspective and understanding what it would feel like to have loyalty? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like Creator's perspective and understanding what it would feel like to have mercy? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like perspective and Creator's perspective and understanding of what it feel like to have modesty? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like Creator's perspective and understanding what it feel like to have nobility? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like Creator's perspective? No, what it would feel like to have optimism? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like Creator's perspective and understanding what it feel like to have orderliness? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like Creator's perspective and understanding what it feel like to have passion? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like Creator's perspective and understanding what it feel like to have focus? Say yes. Greater changes. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding what it would feel like to have patience? Say yes. Greater changes. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have peace? Say yes. Greater changes. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding? Know what it feels like to have perseverance? Say yes. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding? What it would feel like to have playfulness? Say yes. Greater changes. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding? Know what to feel like to have preparedness? Say yes. Greater changes. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have purposefulness? Say yes. Greater changes. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding to know what it feels like to have honesty? Say yes. Greater changes. Would you like greatest perspective and would you like to know what it feels like to have honor? Say yes. Greater changes. Would you like greatest perspective and understand what it feels like to have humor? Say yes. Greater changes. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have humility? Say yes. Greater changes. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have idealism? Say yes. Greater changes. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding? And to know what it feels like to have integrity? Say yes. Greater changes. Would you like greatest perspective and would you like to know what it feels like to have imagination? Say yes. Greater changes. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have hope? Say yes. Greater changes. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have intelligence? Say yes. Greater changes. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding and to know what it feels like to have joyfulness? Say yes. Greater changes. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have flexibility? Say yes. Greater changes. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have fortitude? Say yes. Greater changes. Would you like greatest perspective and would you like to know what it feels like to have friendliness? Say yes. Greater changes. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have generosity? Say yes. Greater changes. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding to know what it feels like to have gentleness? Say yes. Greater changes. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have grace? Say yes. Greater changes. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have graciousness? Say yes. Greater changes. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding to know what it feels like to be in harmony and be harmonious? Say yes. Greater changes. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have helpfulness? Say yes. Greater changes. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have creativity? Say yes. Greater changes. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding? Or would you like to know what it feels like to have curiosity? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have detachment? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have determination? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have dedication? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have devotion? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have dignity? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have caring? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and would you like to know what it feels like to have endurance? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have enjoyment? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have enthusiasm? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and would you like and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to be ethical? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have excellence? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have fairness? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have contentment? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and would you like to know what it feels like to have conviction? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have cooperation? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective? Would you like an understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have communication? Creator, say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have commitment? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and understanding? What it feels like, and to know what it feels like to have confidence? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have consideration? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have assertiveness? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have authenticity? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like to have creator's perspective and understanding and to know what it feels like to have beauty? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and understanding and what it would feel like to have bravery? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have belief? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like to have creator's perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have charisma? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like to have creator's perspective and would you like to know what it feels like to have cooperation? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and would you like to know what it feels like to have communication? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have commitment? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have confidence? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like to have creator's perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have consideration? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like to have greatest perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have assertiveness? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have authenticity? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have beauty? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have bravery? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have belief? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have charisma? Charisma, say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have cleverness? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have clarity? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have cleanliness? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and would you like to know what it feels like to have wonder? Say yes. Creator, change this. Creator, thank you. Would you like creator's perspective and understanding? Or would you like to know what it feels like to have acceptance? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have compassion? Say yes. Change this. Would you like creator's perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have courage? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like creator's perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have gratitude? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like to have creator's perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have service? Creator, change this. Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like to know creator's perspective and understanding what it feels like to have restraint? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have truthfulness? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like greatest perspective and understanding? Would you like to know what it feels like to have faith? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like greatest perspective and would you like to know what it feels like to have kindness? Say yes. Creator, change this. Would you like greatest perspective and would you like to know what it feels like to have forgiveness? Say yes. Creator, change this. Well, there you go. Those are all the downloads for the Theta Healing Virtues. Theta Healing's was channeled by Diana Stiebel. Would like to thank her for the modality. I'd like to thank Creator for my life, for all the communication tools, for the ability to bring this to you. So Now let's ask Creator to integrate all of these virtues into every cell of our body, into all of our DNA, uh, that we know when to, how to use these virtues. Um, we have them in our life now. We are worthy. We are allowed. We deserve this. We know how to live our life with these virtues. Uh, we know how to live our life without having to struggle or be challenged or anything to learn these virtues. Our soul has learned all of the lessons to accumulate these virtues. We can resolve any contracts on the history level. We can complete them on the core soul genetic level. We have learned all these lessons. We know these virtues. We can release ourselves of any obligation of having to teach ourselves these lessons. They're they're ours. They're in every cell of our body. We can release anybody or anything in the world to have to teach us these lessons and these virtues, and we can release ourselves from any programs of having to repattern and relearn these virtues. We can incorporate all of these beautiful, beautiful virtues in our life right now. We have them in our life now. We can live our life witnessing and being the miracle that we are. And I love you and thank you. Thank you, Creator. It is done. And so it is. Namasplay.